Hello, Sama.
Hey.
Welcome. Hello,
you.
everyone. Really pleased to have you here. I'm Rosie Riot, by the way. I'm a DJ and student ambassador here. Really honoured to have you here.
Well, I'm very honoured to be here. Honestly, I love the school.
I
always wanted to study in the school, actually.
First of all, I wanted to ask how your weekend was. You performed at E1 at the weekend.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was amazing. It was really good, honestly. And playing with Nicole is just a dream, you know? Like, I've always been a huge fan of her since, like, I was a kid. And the first time we met, it was surreal. And so the first time, it was like the ultimate panic attack I've ever had in my life. And the second time we played together, it was a mini panic attack. And Saturday, I was just like, as if it's a normal thing, just got on stage and started playing. And then I'm just like, how am I okay with this? This is not okay. But it was really nice. It was really nice. That woman is incredible.
She's a good mate of yours now, good friend.
Yeah. Weirdly.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to say.
So that's quite surreal then. So you've actually, because you've, after Boiler Room, did things sort of blow up for you after that a little bit? Like, kind of like you kind of, was it quite a pivotal moment in terms of, there's over 2 million views on YouTube for that.
It made a huge career jump, honestly, for me. It kind of made my career in a way. It just moved me from like doing these like small time trying, like my booker was constantly trying to like shove me into lineups, you know, like if you want to book this artist, take some over there, you know, just like, and she'll do it for free. Just please, just let her play, you know?
Yeah.
And just that went boom, and all of a sudden everybody is calling, and I'm getting like bookings every weekend, and it's just like, it was something I never expected, honestly. Like, I knew that Boiler Room was gonna be something that can do my career, but I didn't expect it to like make
that
my
much.
career. That much.
Did it have like, in terms of like the electronic music scene in Palestine, did it like have quite an effect on that as well in general? Like, did things change? Did it grow after that?
It did a lot. It actually, it kind of gave people an idea that maybe that can be something that you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of DJs started kind of doing more events. A lot of people started visiting Palestine for events. Like, they would just see an event that we're doing and they would buy tickets and fly into Palestine. And that was, I guess, one of the weirdest thing that could happen, you know, when somebody comes for New Year's to Palestine. It's like, why would you do that to yourself, you know? It's like the most random place to go party when you're like from Germany or something. You're like, you came to Palestine for New Year's, like, are you okay? I don't know, it just kind of created this underground scene that everybody was like trying to make more things and collaborate more, and it's really nice what happened over there. Yeah,
it's amazing, because I heard that in terms of the underground scene, I heard there was an event you helped put on that was actually in a kitchen.
And that was our main venue actually for a while. So in Palestine, it's kind of, we don't have any clubs and we don't have actual parties. We just we kind of gather around in whatever restaurant or place that we can rent out, and we change the decoration of it. And so one of the places that my friends used to do things at is just like this restaurant, and they would use the normal thing. And then one time, one of our friends went down with the owner to like speak in private, and they went down to the kitchen, and the guy goes like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's a kitchen." And he's like, "Dude, this is a dance floor." And so we just went there, emptied out the whole kitchen, and just turned it into this makeshift club. So where the stove is where the DJ booth is. The lights are running through the ducts, and it's really under the ground, so the police wouldn't find us.
Yeah.
And usually the party starts in Palestine, let's say at 8, and then it's 3 dots. It's when the police comes and tell you stop the music, you stop the music, you go home. So in that place, they would just never find it. And the best thing is that it was right next to the police station. But it was It was literally under the ground, so they wouldn't see it.
Cooking beats.
Exactly. And we wouldn't even see the sun outside, so we wouldn't even know that it's daytime already.
Yeah.
And it would just like, we would get lost in that kitchen, and it just became our hub. And I guess we kept doing that until I did a stupid move and I decided to do like a showcase. It was the Palestine Music Expo was happening then. And I really wanted, so usually they put the DJs in between the bands for like 10 minutes. And so that's when everybody goes to get a drink or goes to the bathroom. And nobody even notices that the DJ is a show. They think it's just the in-between music. So what I did is I partnered with them and did the after party of the band's concerts in the kitchen. And so all of a sudden the police are seeing these shit tons of people are just walking in the dark into nothing. And they're just disappearing. You can see like all these foreigners are just like, because we get a lot of like bookers and stuff from everywhere to watch Palestinian shows. And so they can see all these people just walking down a mountain and then disappearing into nowhere. So they just started following those people that are disappearing, and all of a sudden they fight in the kitchen, and they go down to the kitchen, and it's just a freaking rave going.
Wicked.
And that's when the kitchen closed.
Oh.
And now everybody's terrified of using that kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, I was pretty cool. There's places in London that try to be cool like that, but that actually sounds proper cool. In terms of like, so community and like helping the scene out there, is it the union you created?
Yeah.
So in terms of like helping up and coming artists, how's that been? And like, is that something you're quite passionate about?
Oh, definitely. We have some of the like most amazing artists right now in Palestine, and honestly, it's really nice to see that change. So the union basically started as whoever likes to DJ or is just interested in parties, building stages, doing lights, doing graffiti, or all these different things. So the kitchen was basically, all the graffiti was by people in the union, people just building stages, they're doing the lights, and these people are just people just that like to party and would like to help are part of the union. Yeah. So it just became this huge community of people that work in all the arts, and they're all teaching each other. So the lights guys teach us how to do lights, and we teach them how to do sound, and it's this really nice thing, and it's all about whoever actually is willing to take feedback. So that was always an issue that I had in the beginning, and some people just don't like feedback in life, so that would make like a bit of sensitivity between people or friends or artists or whatever. And then we kind of found each other, the people that just want to put equipment together and be like, okay, let's try this and let's do that, and what if you switch to the BPM in this way, or what if you like press play in this position, what will happen to the track? And we were all just trying to experiment together. Yeah. And that created this kind of small family that are willing to do stuff together. So when we're doing these parties, for 1 hour, everybody takes a role. So like I'm the security guard for 1 hour, then I'm the DJ for an hour, then I'm the sound guy, then I'm at the bathrooms, then I'm cleaning. And everybody has to do that in the union, and it just goes around. So everybody gets to enjoy the party for an hour, DJ for an hour, be like pushed to the door, which is the worst job in the world, is being at the door for an hour because you're missing out on everything. And so it just goes like that. And I don't know, in Palestine also, I guess because it's such a small community and nobody really makes any money out of anything there. So we just kind of go with the flow. So like all artists are allowed into all the parties for free. So like even rappers are allowed into techno parties for free. We are allowed into rap concerts for free. And it's just this whole thing of, you know what, we're messed up anyways, so might as well get messed up together. Yeah. We're not that many as well, so it's really hard to make money out of it. So it's just like this raw community that is trying to express themselves, and
Yeah. You mentioned rappers. I heard there's like quite a big hip hop scene, or quite a good strong hip hop scene.
It's huge. Actually, tomorrow there's a concert for like the one of the biggest rappers from Palestine. He's here in London.
Oh, really?
And yeah. They're playing tomorrow, and it's really interesting. Yeah.
What's he called?
Platinum, the name of the record label.
Yeah.
The rapper is called Sama Abdulhadi, and I'm hoping I can get to make that concert.
Yeah.
I have to go to France tomorrow, but I'm hoping I get to. A little bit.
Has that like influenced in terms of other genres and other music and musicians? Has that influenced you? Like, where did it all begin? Like with your journey into production and DJ? I mean, that's quite a big question, but like where? Like, it's just like pivotal question. But like, when did it all begin? And in terms of music, and did you just sort of naturally always knew you liked music and?
Well, I've always liked music. I used to play piano as a kid, so I started learning classical piano when I was like 4, and I started DJing when I was 9. DJing. I used to be just a play button, and I would just go dance and come back, press next, go dance, come on, next. But it was good because I kind of chose all the music. It was fun. And then I think the first time I saw a DJ is the first time I noticed that I wasn't a DJ. The first time I saw a DJ, I was 18. So when I saw them, I was in Lebanon first day. It was like this commercial DJ, like playing Arabic music and hip hop. And I was like, oh, that's what a DJ does. Okay, I'm not a DJ. And that's when I discovered it. And that's when I went to study audio engineering and music production in SAE in Jordan. And I met my teacher who used to be a DJ in Canada. And that's the person that taught me what even beat matching means. That guy changed my life, honestly.
Yeah. Which is why it's so important to be that person for someone else, I think, as well.
Yeah, because it all it just like the transfer of knowledge is really interesting because you see how the other person can build on it. So one of the earliest people I've ever worked with, Yazan, I started working with him when he was 12 years old. Now he's 21. He's graduating from Berlin. Now he does electronics. And now, weirdly, he works in Native Instruments for like software programming and DJ, programming the machines. And he's an incredible DJ. He does things I don't even know how he does. He jumped my level like a couple of years ago, and he is incredible. Like for me, he is now the number one DJ from Palestine. Yeah. He does tricks I have no idea how he does, but that's the thing about then the next one does things that you don't know, and then now he works with other people, and then God knows what these kids are gonna do next.
I teach teenagers how to DJ, and some of them are like, we are not worthy.
It's incredible how they can just switch things, and then you're just sitting there like, oh my God, how did that cross your mind? I never even thought about it. And
natural talent.
No limitations in the
So you've been to in terms of Middle East, you went to Cairo as well, didn't you, for quite a few years?
I went to work in Cairo after graduating. Was
that so? You did? Is it sound engineering?
I did audio engineering in Jordan. Then I came and transferred here for my second year in SAE London. And after graduating, I went to Cairo to work as a sound designer for film.
Right. Yeah.
So I actually just went to find any job. And because Egypt is the number one place in the Arab world in music and arts and everything. So I went there to learn from different things, and I started working as an audio engineer in a studio, and then did live sound, did isolation, did composing, did band recordings, and then I did film. And that's when I fell in love with sound design, and I worked as a sound designer for 5 years until I got my first gig in Europe. And that was so weird because I completely forgot about DJing. I didn't forget about it, but I only DJed in Palestine, and I don't live there, so I just DJ when I go to see my family, with my friends, small thing. Union wasn't there. There was none of that. And in Egypt is where I met Yazan in the summer camps that I used to teach in. And he started DJing, and then other people started DJing in Palestine, and it started growing the scene on its own. And I would just go visit and play whenever I'm there. And eventually I got my first gig in France, and I don't know how I just became a DJ, honestly, because I wasn't working towards that. I was just completely building my own company. I had a music publishing house for alternative musicians. I used to work with a bunch of bands from the Arab world, just getting their music licensed into film, working with governments about having copyrights installed in the Arab world. I was completely in a different world, you know? Yeah. And then now I'm a DJ. So we'll see what happens the next 10 years, you know? Yeah. You never know.
It was meant to be. So when the DJing like started to sort of, snowball, and it got like, it was getting bigger and bigger, did that sort of take you by surprise? And when, you started to DJ with these big names and some of the people you looked up to, was that, you said that was quite surreal before, is that, are you used to it now? Is that just life, like touring?
Sometimes used to it. Sometimes I'm just like, what the hell is happening in my life? I can't believe this is an actual thing. Like, it's crazy, like, because the thing is also when I went to university in SAE, the head of our department was this guy, Omar, who taught me how to DJ. And he was so into electronic music. So he would teach us the history of electronic music, and he would like just be playing sets in classroom, And so reading about Richie Houghton and reading about Nicole Mudabber, and like they were in the history of electronic music. How are you in my face? You are in the history book. You cannot be there, And that was, I guess, the first shock. And I guess I still get shocked till now. Like every time I see Richie, I'm just like, you're a poster. You shouldn't speak.
You're 3D.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy seeing those legends, and the fact that they welcomed me with them on the same stages. They treat me as an equal to them. They don't treat me as this like kiddo or something. They like Nicole treats me as her like other half, and I'm like, but it's surreal, and it's very like I'm very honored by it, and it gives me that confidence, to actually do things, because most of the time you kind of feel like you're not really a DJ. You kind of are looking at those bigger artists and seeing what they're doing, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what you're doing. Like you are, what the hell was happening in front of me? And it just makes you feel sometimes like, I don't know, like a hypocrite in a way, or like, I don't know. I played German music, but I'm not German. And I've never I barely went to Germany, except 5 years ago was the first time I was allowed into Germany. And I'm playing German music for German people, and they're happy about it, and it just feels like it's just there's something off, and I feel bad about it sometimes. I'm like, but I shouldn't be given that place. And then when I'm sitting with Pete Tong, and he's talking to me like normal, I'm just like, maybe I should be here, maybe I shouldn't be here, maybe I'm just dreaming, maybe I died 10 years ago, and I'm living in my own heaven, It's a bit of a weird feeling, I guess. I don't know how to.
I think that's good to have that sense of. I think remaining humble is good. It's a good thing, because you're always learning, and you're always
always learning. Yeah, you're constantly learning, and that's a really cool thing. Is that when you kind of I know a lot of things in DJing. I know I've done these things, but I know I still need to work on all of these things in DJing, and I really want to learn all of these tricks, and I still want to do all of this in production. So it's good to know what you've done and appreciate what you've done, but also know what you're missing, and just keep working towards that, because you're never there and you never stop learning. Honestly, every day is a new lesson.
On that subject, actually, in terms of processes and the technicalities of your sets and your DJing, so you don't always just use bog standard decks. What is there a sort of signature that you have, or is this something you really like using when you do your live sets?
Well, the thing that for me is a little bit of a signature sound is I use a lot of ambient sounds. So I'm always playing this bird or the plane or a car passing by or something. I think that's the fault of sound design life.
Field recordings.
Yeah, exactly. Is that there's always stuck in my head. There's always I don't know. I would be listening to a track, and I honestly hear in my head a car pass by. So I just put a car pass by, or a plane fly by. Now I'm adding a train whistle and a bunch of like new ones and a thunder. Thunder is actually because of Fusion Festival this year. I was listening to a set and I'm just dancing and it started raining and the thunder was going on the drop. I was like, God is DJing with the DJ. This is insane. And that's when I loved the sound of thunder. For me, so that's the next one.
In terms of touring, so how is that? Is there, obviously from an outsider's perspective, it's, you know, for some of us here, it might be, you know, seen as living the dream and sort of traveling and, you know, but what's the reality like in terms of as a DJ? Do you see many of the places you go? Do you just remain in the hotel? What's the sort of reality of it like?
Sometimes you don't even see the hotel. That's the problem. You never see the place you go to. You never see the hotel. You barely see a bed. You're always sleeping on a plane. And the weirdest thing is that when you had like the craziest night, that's when the plane is full of babies. And
it's so true.
When you're okay, there's no babies. The plane is empty. You're having 3 seats. And that's when it's like a chilled night. And then when you have the worst hangover, that's when the babies are sitting right behind you, kicking the chair like the whole flight. And it's a 10-hour flight, you know? I don't know how. It's just very unlucky sometimes. But it is a beautiful thing. I love touring and I love traveling. I don't get to see anything, but I'm going to a lot of places. I really try to sometimes add a couple of days, especially like if I'm going to like Latin America or something and it's somewhere I really want to see. But for example, last time I went to Colombia, I really love Medellin and I really want to see that place. I got to see Cali for 3 days, Bogota for 3 days, Medellin for 5 hours. And that really killed me, but I was so like, it's such a beautiful place. You try a lot of good food as well. That's a good thing about touring. You get a lot of good food. You hear a lot of nice music. You meet incredible people. And I think also the thing about the techno scene is that the people and the crowd and the way they interact with each other, there's a lot of energy and there's a lot of love in it. So you get this like recharge every time, you know, like after you finish a set you're dying, but you get these like 10 hugs that give you this like energy for the next 10 days, you know. And it's really beautiful, these things. So it has its positives and its negatives, as anything in the world, I guess. But it is very tiring. And and you need to like not sleep for like a couple of days. Like sometimes you get 2 hours of sleep.
Wow. Gosh.
A whole weekend.
So that's a challenge. Is there what have been some of the other challenges you've had in your career, and like how have you sort of overcome them so far?
What are the challenges? You tell me. Well, there's a lot. Like for me, visa issues to making gigs to computer blowing up all of a sudden right when you land in a country, you know, your USB is getting messed up. There's a lot of like technical issues. There's a lot of I don't know, waking up is a really hard thing in life. And it's I don't know, it's a lot of ups and downs, but I guess the ups are more than the downs, I think. I don't know.
Are they quite euphoric? Like, how's it when you like playing in front of a massive crowd?
Yeah.
Like, especially like, what about like daytime gigs, festivals? Have you done any, like many of them?
Yeah, this year was a full festival year. It was insane. It's really interesting the way it just changes from daytime to nighttime. Like even my set changes if I'm playing like at midnight or if I'm playing at like 5 p.m. It's a completely different set. And I honestly love festivals. I really love festivals, but it's a different vibe and especially it depends how far the crowd is. So I really like when the crowd is really close and I'm
more of an intimate sort of.
You're dancing with somebody. I need the crowd to know what to play next. I don't know what to play if I don't see the crowd. It's just like really hard to choose the next track. for me. And so I really need the crowd to be there to like, I need to dance with somebody to know what I'm doing. So that's tough in festivals because usually the stages are very far from the crowd. Sometimes I try to push my table to the front so I can be more there. So it really depends on that. And honestly, sometimes it's just euphoric. Like seeing 60,000 people in front of you is just like, what the hell? And how do you go to the bathroom? How are you ever gonna leave this slot?
But like, it's funny you mentioned like sort of reading the crowd. I actually think that's quite a big skill in DJing. I think that it's quite a sort of intuitive vibe. Is that something you do? Because I know when I'm DJing, I sort of reading a crowd, and what have been some of the most sort of does the way you're feeling, does that influence how you perform? Like if you're a bit like, if there's like more of a gnarly set, like feeling a certain way, or like
yes, I actually didn't notice it until this year, where there's these two festivals where when I played the set I was really angry. There was some things happening back home in Palestine that were just like I was not good at all, and I would just go on the stage and I was just like, I didn't know I was letting it out until other people came to me and they're like, your set was so political and so angry. And I was like, oh, you felt that? I was just angry about politics. I didn't know I portrayed that, but I guess that does make a change. At the end of the day, I don't play music that has lyrics that much, and it's hard to be that directional with what you want to say. But I guess, and I'm usually the same. I'm still jumping and dancing around and everything, but I guess some people do get that vibe.
Yeah.
And reading the crowd is like, I don't even know what first track I'm gonna play until like I see the crowd, because it's really hard to know what they want to listen to. At the end of the day, they are the party. I'm not the party. They're the party.
Yeah.
So I go there. I usually go 2 hours before my set or something like that. I set up. I just stand there. I dance a bit. Look at the crowd a lot. Listen to the DJ before me, and also I make sure to like really listen to the DJ before me, because I don't want to repeat any track that they play. That is like, for me, very important, because sometimes that happened when I just played the track like 3 tracks ago, and then the DJ after me comes and plays the same track, and I'm like, but I just played that one, dude. And the crowd just heard it. Like, they shouldn't hear the same track 10 times, It should be like, so I try to go there 2 hours before, get settled, try to feel the crowd and see what they're enjoying. If they're enjoying the music before, I just continue from there and go wherever I want to go. And constantly I'm looking at them, because sometimes I'm just going really hard and they're starting to like get tired. So that's when I start taking it down a little bit and go more melodic and give more breaks and stuff. And then you see them starting like to be like, okay, now give me more. And then you go back and you stop. And it's a give and take. It's very much a mirror thing, you know?
Yeah.
It depends, like, if the crowd is going insane, you start going insane with them. It's just, like, very much of a mirror. It's...
picking up on the energy.
Yeah.
In terms of your sound, what sort of direction is it going in? Have you got a sort of, in terms of the mood of your music, how's it sort of changed over the years?
Actually, this year has been one of the biggest changes in my music, because so basically I play everything from like John Hopkins to really hardcore industrial techno, but I've never liked the really down tempo electro. I don't know, I've never really enjoyed a full set on it, and I've never enjoyed that much psytrance. And this year was a huge slap in my face. So in Fusion Festival, weirdly, I went... every year I go to Fusion Festival. It's my sanctuary. It's my meditation place. And I honestly, I've been going there for 6 years. I don't know the name of any stage. I don't know where my tent is. They always give me the same tent and I always get lost of it. And it's like, and I just walk around the festival and I start following wherever that sounds nice. And I go there and I start dancing. And then that's nice. And this year my ear pulled me to the Psytrance stage and there was this DJ that played one of the most amazing sets I've ever heard for 4 hours. I didn't stop dancing. I didn't move from my place. And at some point, I just hit the ground like this. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm sorry for everything I ever said about Psytrance. I'm sorry. This is my bad, you know? And that was one huge change. And then I went to Garbage Festival in North Poland, south of Berlin. And the whole festival is down tempo. So like at 2 a.m, it's like boom, da, dum, da, da, da. And I never and I enjoyed it so much. So now, actually, there's a lot of down tempo in my tracks, and there's a lot of Psytrance in my tracks.
Oh, wicked!
And so now it goes up to Psytrance, also, and goes down to down tempo, and it's so entertaining. So on Friday was the first time I actually go through all of them, right? And I was playing in Watergate in Berlin, which nobody really plays Psytrance in, but I played it like on 135 BPM. I didn't play it on 160, and it was so nice. I was going in, I'm just like playing the track and I'm like, what the hell, this is so good, I'm so happy. And so this is the new edition. I still didn't play it that much, so it's like really like a brand new, like now new. So I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah. In terms of like down tempo, I mean, I was in Ibiza actually with Point Blank recently, and there's a lot of that kind of, poolside. So it's like two sort of scenes out there, obviously the super clubs, and then you've got like the down tempo, and I really enjoyed that. Did you play at DC10 actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that in Ibiza? What did you make of Ibiza?
Ibiza is one of the hardest places to play, I think, because the crowd is not from anywhere, it's from everywhere, and you just don't know how to read it. Like in the UK, you know how people are, how they dance, how like the vibe of the crowd is. Italy has its vibe, Berlin has its vibe. It has, it's... Yeah. And in Ibiza, it's just you don't know what's going on. It's very confusing, but... that's why it's really hard, but I really like playing there. Like I always play in DC10 and it's so crowded. Like, I know. How the hell? What? it's so crowded. Like you cannot walk in backstage. Imagine in front of the stage how people can, like, I don't know how people move in Ibiza.
Yeah. No,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you been to Ibiza? Have you partied in Ibiza? Yeah? How? Because I've never partied in Ibiza. I've never been to Ibiza before. I played there and it was like, I was standing there and I'm like, wow, you guys are over each other. They're like 2 layers of people. It's insane.
Well, I just wanted to ask as well, what are the plans in terms of like more tours and projects? Have you got any collabs coming up? Are you doing any, working with anyone else?
What am I doing? I'm working on my EP, as always, trying to finish my EP. And every time I finish a track, somebody asks me for a single, so I give them that single and I just restart on the EP. Then I finish a track and then I give it out as a single. So now I'm purely just making an EP, no singles. And what are we working on? I blanked a bit. Mainly I'm doing that. I'm trying to chill a bit down on touring because this summer killed me. Yeah. I've never done a real summer like the DJs do, the intense all the time festivals. You're traveling every single day until this summer, and it destroyed me. I don't know how any DJ is still alive, but they are, thank God. So we're trying to find the balance, I think, in life, and working on my residency in Phonox for January. Yeah. And working with always working with the DJs from Palestine and from different places. I'm still working on my project for Lebanon, where I really want to do a bunch of free parties there because the situation is really bad there, and everybody I know that used to be able to party can't party anymore because they cannot afford it. So I really want to do this like series of free parties for people to just come, dance, let everything out, and go deal with the mess that they have to deal with.
Right. Is that Beirut?
Later.
In Beirut, is that?
Yeah, Beirut. Yeah.
Talking of Phonox and warm-up DJs, as you mentioned earlier, and not repeating tracks. On the subject of warm-up DJs, I think it's quite. People don't. It's quite a craft. I think it's quite a skill.
It is.
Being a warm-up DJ, actually.
Yeah, warming up and closing a club are the hardest two things in the world, probably. Yeah. Being the main DJ is the easiest thing in the world because you just go play that and you go, and that's it, and people are there the whole time.
Yeah. But so you mentioned Phonox. I'm going somewhere with this, basically.
Yeah.
So tell us about. So it's January, so it's not announced yet, but like so you got Residency in Phonox in Brixton, South London. So do you need any warm-up DJs?
That is the plan in life. Yeah. So the plan is we're gonna open this kind of thing for you guys to apply if you guys want to play as exactly. So the point is so we're having every week like somebody playing, and one of the nights I'm gonna be playing the whole night, and every week we need a warm-up DJ. So you guys are more than welcome to apply and send us like sets. And the hard thing about warm-up DJs is that warming up a room is really tough because it's really hard to like start really hardcore. It's like I honestly like opening up stages because I can start where I like to start very chill and down tempo and John Hopkinsy, and then go up to where the DJ is playing. So let's say if I'm opening the stage to Richie Houghton, I would be starting with like down tempo or like wherever, like also it depends on how the crowd enters. So sometimes the door is open and the crowd is like full. You know, sometimes it's like 5 people having a first drink. So you're going with the first drink. You are the first drink.
The first drink.
You are the first drink. And then you warm up to whatever DJ is playing after. So usually I do that till now wherever I'm playing. I actually Google the DJ before me and after me, even if I don't know them, and listen to their music because I know I need to take from there and go to that one because I don't want to give Seth Troxler the stage when I'm playing 135 BPM. That is not okay. You know, it's Seth Troxler. He doesn't play that.
Yeah.
You need to respect the DJ before and after. And also, more than that, you need to respect the crowd. That you need to make a smooth night and not just like abrupt changes. So I really love that how all the DJs actually build on each other and make a whole night. So it's like, you know, like if I'm playing a whole night DJ set on my own, I would start chill, go up all the way to hardcore and go back down and outro and give an outro, you know? And I really love making a lineup in clubs because I like kind of setting up the DJs to kind of do that, build up, go up, and then go back down. And sometimes you get booked in weird slots in life. Like there's this festival I was playing at 11 in the morning. I was never awake at 11 in the morning and I have to play at 11 in the morning, which is it's so hard. And it's like a boom festival, so it's like a psytrance festival. It's a really, you know, hard festival, and it's 11 in the morning. I don't know what people play at 11 in the morning, but it was so nice because I played a completely different sound. I was like more chill. It's daytime, the sun is up, life is beautiful, no need to go dark, you know. So it was like smiles and happy people everywhere, and Boom Festival is like very much colorful, so it was like more of a happy set in a way. It's weird how things change in life. It's beautiful.
It's good to be adaptable. I think that's the one of the keys of good DJing, I think, is adaptability a little bit, you know. On that
that's what DJing is, I think. Like, if it's not, then you do a live show and just play your music, you know. It depends. Like, if you're a DJ is it is a disc jockey. They are supposed to be like give and take and can be able to change wherever they want, whichever genre. A band and a live show, these are a thing that cannot be changed. These are a show, you know, so that is something that is interesting. And I don't know, I think also, I'm not sure, like some DJs, whenever they built a name with a genre, with a specific sound, and so they are playing that sound. But I tried to not build a name with a specific sound. Like it is mainly techno, so I do get put in like really hard techno places, but they also book me at 11 in the morning, and they still book me opening shows, they still book me closing shows, because I really like to go into different genres. But I enjoy it as well. Like I'm not making myself play something I don't like just so I can get a job. I'm actually playing all the tracks that I like. So
wicked. Some good advice there. So has anyone got any questions for Sama?
Anything? Or shall we just play music? Hit me with it.
Quick one about resources. How do you get over times when you felt under-resourced? I noticed about the union, you would Skillshare, and that sounded like really beautiful community in action. Is there any other ways? Because you said you started a music label. It just sounds like you've done so much. And I wonder how you've overcome ever feeling under-resourced, if that makes sense.
He actually is, I'm always under-resourced, that's the problem. So I think I always thought that was the normal. I never thought that. I think you always also have to have people to ask favors from. You know, you're always like, communities just build on each other. And if you find the right people around, you just kind of help each other out. So even with like me starting a publishing house, it was more of, I know somebody that does a record label and they're having problems with licensing, and I was working in films already, and I was also composing for films, but I didn't have a lot of at some point actually I didn't have time to make all the music, so I really needed to get music. So I started working purely with this record label of licensing from them, and then we discovered that nobody's getting their money whenever the film is played anywhere in the Arab world. So we started working on talking to the governments. Then we partnered together and opened this publishing house and started talking to artists, telling them just, you guys have rights and these are your rights and you should ask for them, and they shouldn't be able to put your music in their film without asking you at least. Like one of the most amazing Sudani bands, Al Sara, she's this amazing singer, and they had her music on McDonald's ad in the Arab world. And it's not just that it's on McDonald's, she's vegan. Like it was like the ultimate disrespectful thing in the world. Like, you know, how can you even, you know, and all of a sudden she finds her music on like a burger that is McDonald's. Like it's not even a normal burger, you know? So it was always like friends and colleagues, even the union, it didn't really start from me. I really wanted to make a festival in Palestine. And I called my friends who DJ, and I'm like, I want a festival, and let's make a collective. And they got all the connections. I'm not living there. And we would just meet, and then we would do calls all the time. And it was like, always everybody needs to vote on everything. You know, every decision we make has to be mutual by everyone. And I think it's that, and having patience, I guess. Life is beautiful. It's really messed up, but it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Cheers, my pleasure.
Any more questions from anyone?
What I wanted to ask you is, if you could turn back time and you knew just before that after your boiler room you would blow up, what would you tell yourself to prepare for that transition mentally, for the road ahead?
I think I wouldn't have believed myself. Honestly, because I didn't really believe Boiler Room was coming to Palestine. I didn't believe it until I saw the video with the logo on it. But I think it would have been... Actually, the thing is, I had a doubt that it would make my career. And the thing is, I was already in France, and I paid my ticket to go back home, which is really expensive to go to Palestine. And my parents didn't understand why they were actually paying for my ticket back home. And I kept telling them this would make my career. And I kept working on the set so much. And even my mom would stay up with me, and she's like, "Are you done with the set?" And I'm like, "No, but I'm tired." And she's like, "You made us pay the ticket. This is gonna change your career. It has to be perfect." So I really, like, I wouldn't sleep every night, just kind of trying to make every transition perfect, because I knew it was this showcase that can make a difference. And honestly, I don't regret anything about the preparations, because I really went overboard in preparing for it. So I'm really glad I did that. I would have probably went back and told myself, yeah, kill yourself even more, you know? Because it really did a huge, like, I told my parents that, but I really, like, I didn't expect it to take me over here, you know? I never even thought that here exists. So I'm really glad that I did what I did, and I'm so thankful for my mom for, like, standing by me while not understanding what I'm doing. And she was like, "What do you need to do?" And I told her, "Okay, I need to listen to all the tracks, you know, record the set, re-record the set, listen to the set, put notes, fix that, make the intro, da, da." And she wrote everything down on a checklist. And she would just sit next, and she would call me, and she's like, "Did you finish cue points?" And she doesn't know what cue points mean. And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Okay, you have to finish this today, and then you can sleep." And she wouldn't let me sleep. And she would stay awake. And that was huge. I love my mom and my dad. They're incredible. But yeah.
So it sounds like to me that, like, having a community is quite important to your creative journey and process. So I just wanted to know, because a lot of us, you know, producers, sometimes we're not the most social people, you know. So what's like your advice on like building a very nurturing community around you to like help you progress, you know?
That is such a hard question. I guess with time you like meet good friends along the way, whether at university, whether at school, whether you know, like at work as well. You like with time you start meeting a lot of people, and the thing is you always run into people that are not on the same level, and you just have to try to always kind of take out the what do you call it, the toxic energy, and kind of stick. So that's the thing, that's what I was saying in the beginning. We were trying to build something, but some people didn't like to take feedback, and they were like very sensitive about it or very aggressive about it. And that's when we started just trying to find the people that want to work together. And it was like, for me, I knew maybe two of the people that became the union, and everybody would bring one in, and then we became a huge family. So I maybe brought two people in, and then that person brought two people, and that. And I didn't know those people, but because he trusts them, I became that open with them, and it just created this beautiful community over there. And yeah, I guess it has to do with trust and trial and error. Trial and error is the main one, I think.
Are you gonna hire your mom soon in the union?
My mom is kind of holding my whole company, man. She's like calls my accountant, keeps especially the accountant, keeps tabs on everything. My mom is the boss.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, my pleasure.
Well, I assume you've had some bad experiences as well, DJing, and I would like to know how you come back from those. What's your advice?
You try to find what went wrong. So, for example, there was one of the times where I really couldn't catch a crowd. I was literally pushing him out of the place. And I really tried. I switched every genre I have. So usually I play a track. If the people are not interacting with it, you go somewhere else completely. And I kept trying everything, and it just didn't work. And then the DJ that came after me just played one track, and it was just like, psst, grabbed them all back. And that's when I was like, oh, that's what I did wrong. Okay. And I, like, after that, the whole way of how I arrange my playlists completely changed. Because I didn't want to fall into that pit again. So it's just like trying to analyze what you've done wrong and trying to work on that and just trying it again. So I thought that like every time I'm like, oh my God, I ruined my career. I'm never gonna get booked again. And weirdly, you do get booked again, and it's okay to like make mistakes. I honestly like sometimes pause the music in the middle of my set, and I'll be like, sorry, like I messed up. I'm sorry. And you try to make up for it, and learn from those like tiny mistakes. And now I hope I never push the crowd out of a place again.
Thank you very much.
What was it? It was I just didn't function that it was a Monday, and they've been there since Thursday. Oh my God. They're dying over there. So my intros are usually like, and I'm like coming in the middle of like really strong DJs. So I just started like strong, but the guys were dying. They just needed anybody to like give him a massage a little bit, you know? So the guy after me came and started playing like the Stephen Budson, like the vrah sounds that you just stand there and you're like, oh yes, please, you know? And I was like, I didn't even think about playing my outro tracks as my intro tracks. Usually these are my outro tracks because they're like how I wanna go out. And I didn't think that I was outroing the festival. I should have outroed the festival, not my set only, because I'm not alone. And so now in my intro tracks, there are outro tracks as well. So the way I organize, well, do I have my laptop? Yeah. So I can show you guys how I organize the music. So it's mostly from like kind of strength or how it feels, if it's an intro or da-da-da. So now in my intro tracks, there are psytrance intros, there are really down-tempo ones, there's ambient ones, there's all the different things that I could play in the beginning, and then the way the set goes, it can go in any direction. So if I started probably with a Stephen Budson thing and just went there and gradually took it up, I could have probably went back to hardcore because they would have just went with my flow, but I couldn't find them, and that was the problem. That was really one of the saddest days of my life.
It always seems worse than it is at the time, and then
some people really enjoyed the set, and they were like sending me after it, no, that was an amazing set, and I'm like, really? Yeah. Like I was gonna cry on stage, you know.
Oh,
what do we have? So I have my laptop. So what I do, okay, so how I play. I usually have my laptop and a X1 and a K2, and the V10 and a push machine. So I use the X1 and the K2 as controllers for Tractor, and the push is running on Ableton, and I play some drums on it. And the Tractor is 3 decks and a remix deck that has the birds, the cars, all my Foley sounds. And so it's 3 decks playing, drums on the side, and that. And sometimes I just jump to CDJs where I put 4 decks and I have 3 playing, and the 4th has my Foley sounds on it. And what else? And that is mainly how I play the 2 styles. And I do my own mapping for how I want it. So the one cool thing I love about playing with Tractor is I can do my own mappings. So what I have in the mapping is that, for example, when I want to open the delay, instead of me trying to get it exactly on like quarter or 18th, or, you know, I have it as a keyboard on my K2, so I can jump the delay knob as a keyboard, the gator as well, it's like a keyboard. I can open all the effects and in one button reset them all to 0, so it's like having 5 hands at once. And that's the thing that I love about it. I'm trying to implement the things that I'm doing on Tractor on CDJs recently, but it's so tough. It's just like you can just do so many different things in Tractor, but I also still love to CDJ. And yeah, so like even when I'm playing back to back with Nicole, we're playing on 2 Tractors, which is really tough because you have to beat match with a touch strip, and it's so annoying. But with Anna, we play on CDJs, and life gets messy. That was a lot of fun, honestly. Thank you.